Throw the ball, let the games commence. From the silence to the pitch, feel the suspense. Tactics, passion, the fans in a trance. We're here to discuss, give every team a chance. Strap in tight, let the whistle blow. For every win or loss, we'll let you know. This is the All Sports Podcast, feel the thrill. From every tackle, every shot, we got the skill. In the world of football, we're taking the stage. So plug in your headphones, turn the page.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the NFL segment of the All Sports Podcast. My name's Alejandro Rodriguez, and wherever you are, wherever you may be listening, welcome back. This is episode 4, part 1. All right, guys, let's dive in. Thursday Night Football, we saw a NFC Eastern rivalry match between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants, with Dallas taking home the victory 20-15. Dak Prescott threw for 221 yards with 2 touchdowns, one to wide receiver 1, CeeDee Lamb, and the second touchdown thrown to Rico Dowdle, which was a 15-yard screen pass for the touchdown in the very first quarter. CeeDee Lamb received his touchdown after he caught a 55-yard pass in the second quarter. However, he was flagged for taunting. You know, when NFC Eastern Conference divisional rivals always play each other, you always kind of have that excess sense of, bravado. All these teams in these divisions, whenever they play each other, they always want to one-up each other with the fact that they see each other multiple times in the year compared to other divisions, especially when you look at the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. I come from a family where these two teams are highly favored in every Thanksgiving for as long as I could possibly remember. The Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants have played a majority of my lifetime, and my family always consistently likes to argue about who's going to be who. My father's side of the family are all Dallas Cowboys fans, while my mother's side of the family is all New York Giants fans. So you could only see my little hesitation when it comes to these two teams playing. However, I do love the Dallas Cowboys. No, I'm not a bandwagon Cowboy, which means, unfortunately, for most of my fellow Cowboy fans, we do tend to hold on to our 5 championships that we last won in the 90s. However, I am one of those Cowboys fans who is realistic to the fact that even though our last championship was in the 90s, we still have had many years of getting close to that final pedestal once again. This game, though, with the 2 touchdowns that Dak Prescott had thrown, first in the first quarter and the second in the second quarter, it was very interesting watching Dak Prescott get back on the saddle, especially with watching how he played in the last 2 games. Now, Dallas fans, you can attest to this. Some of you may not. Hopefully, we get to hear all of your comments in the X at NFL on X _. Again, that's NFL on X _. Dak Prescott has received a little bit of a uphill battle and downhill battle. He's almost like a roller coaster. You kind of don't know where you ride on with Dak. Sometimes he'll play remarkable football, where everybody will just sing his praises and everybody will be all right with the fact that we have him as our quarterback. Then there'll be some games where he will just look like he's lost out there. And then the same fans who are singing his praises the first go around will come back and say, why did we draft him? This doesn't make any sense. But all in all, it's very different when you play for a team as prestigious as the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are known in the NFL as America's team, even though a lot of fans would love to debate that with, for example, the Patriot lovers who love Tom Brady. But being a Dallas Cowboys fan has always been a sense of pride. We are known for our offensive line. However, in the past couple of years, it has been a little bit shakier. But that's what we're known for. We're known for a great offensive line. We can do our best to try to protect every type of rushing that any other defense comes in when they come to our house, or especially when we go on away. But it's always good to watch the Dallas Cowboys do their thing. However, two key defensive players for the Dallas Cowboys did experience some injuries. First off, Micah Parsons got a leg injury and had to leave in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, he had to be carted off. At the making of this episode, it was confirmed that Micah Parsons had a high ankle sprain, and he was seen in a boot as late as Monday this week. The other significant loss was their defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, who, even though he had a sack in the first half, ended up leaving with a foot injury. And as the making of this episode, DeMarcus Lawrence is heading to the IL list, the injured list. So we will not see the two of them coming up in week 5. So huge loss for the Dallas Cowboys. Your two big defensive players are not going to be playing for them. So I would like to see how Mike McCarthy, the coach of the Dallas Cowboys, handles this type of outcome. You know, Dak Prescott has always had the ability to rely on his defense, because sometimes when he has struggled, the defense has always kind of had to save him from being down big. But I guess we'll just have to see. Brandon Aubrey, who has been a highlight kicker for the Dallas Cowboys, I believe he came from the UFL, the United Football League, missed a field goal over 50 yards, which is the first miss that he has had in his NFL career. Did have two other field goals, one at 60 yards and one at 40 yards. So when the announcers were watching Brandon Aubrey miss that 50-plus yard field attempt, a lot of questions were popped up, because they were saying, oh my God, he makes all these other crazy kicks from farther distances, and today it just wasn't his day. But that's okay. That's a normal thing to experience, especially with the fact that when you are a professional playing in a professional league, you know, even though you thrive to be perfect every single time, it does attempt to be, you know, difficult when it comes to trying to make sure that every single ball that you kick, if you're a kicker, goes through the goalposts, no matter how far you are. All right, guys, we're going to hop over to the Giants. New York. Daniel Jones, he kept it really close. Even though he completed 29 of 40 passes for 281 yards, he did find Malik Neighbors, who has so far been sensational, about 12 times, totaling out to 115 yards, and also was targeting Wandale Robinson 11 times for 71 yards. The only thing that he could not find was the end zone, which is a little unfortunate, especially after last week's game. On the somber note, Neighbors did leave late in the game with a concussion. At the making of this episode, we are unaware if Neighbors will be eligible for week 5. Hopefully, and to the best of my knowledge, he probably would have entered concussion protocols. I will provide an update on the X, so look out for that. He did throw, Daniel Jones did throw a interception in the final series of events of the game after Brandon Aubrey missed the 50-yard field goal try, which basically gave the New York Giants an ability to kind of squeeze one out, being down only by 5 at this point. Unfortunately, they could not capitalize on that. So basically what that means is the Giants have now lost to the Cowboys. I believe it is, let's see here. I'm assuming they've lost 14 games out of the last 15, and they have lost 7 straight to Dak Prescott. So, Giants fans, how are you feeling about this game? Because, you know, losing to someone like Dak Prescott, who in the past couple of years has had ups and downs when it comes to his career. What do you think about this game? You guys are now 1-3 going into week 5. I believe New York, you guys play the Seahawks, and I'm sure that is correct. How do you guys feel about that? You're about to go and play Geno Smith and the Seahawks with DK Metcalf and company. But you're coming off of a very close loss to the Dallas Cowboys. How are we feeling? Aside from the NFC East divisional rivalry that normally happens, how are we feeling, especially after last week's win? And Dallas, how are we feeling? We just lost two of our very key defensive players. I believe we play the Steelers next week. And, the Steelers have kind of been on a little bit of a roll. I believe, with their last week's game, excuse me, they're coming in with a kind of vigor. So, Dallas, how do you think we're going to shape up, especially with these two key losses? Can Dak Prescott, fully take over the helm and completely just dominate the Steelers on offense so that the defense kind of has an ability to just, kind of shade from these two huge gaps in our defense? Let me know in the X on NFL on X _. Again, that's NFL on X _. Guys, I am so glad that I get to speak to you guys once again. This has been part 1 of episode 4, talking about Thursday Night Football, and I will see you all next week for week 5. Later.
To the players, we'll cover it all. Catch the spirit of the game, we're ready to ball.